Good morning. I'm Tanya, and this is Bible Study Planet. It is the wee hours of the morning, and I've been working on this journal, my journaling inside my illustrating Bible. And I thought, well, I'll turn on the camera and share a little bit. Let me read you the verse that stood out to me today. I was in the book of John, and in chapter 17, this is right before Jesus gets arrested, and he prays. He prays to God for his disciples, and then he prays for all believers. And he says, "Now this is eternal life, that they know you, the only true God, and Jesus Christ, whom you have sent." And it just really struck me that in the hours before he's arrested, he's praying for the disciples and for us. So that's what I wanted to illustrate here today. Now, I want to point out, as usual, my writing sucks, and so I did put a mark in about the center of the page, because these two words have 5 letters each, and it would have been nice to have 5 letters over here and 5 letters over here, but I didn't pay attention to the mark after I had done it, so it's a little bit off to the side. Now I'm going to make you sort of a template of this in case you don't want to draw these things, but I will straighten up the letters for you so that it's more. I thought I would show you how I sketch some of the flowers I'm getting ready to put in there. The lettering was nothing more than double-sided letters, and I did come out and make maybe a little circle or something on some of them. I think I gave a foot to some of them like that. That was the letters. And then the flowers, the main flower that I did is the same one I've been painting, which is basically a heart done 4 times. So if you do that and do a circle, you've got a flower. And so what I did with these, because I got a little lazy with them, I kind of did the outer part a little looser. It doesn't go all the way in, and maybe some are bigger than others. And then I came around and just put a pretty sloppy edge out on some of them, and that would be where the petal, sort of folds over, and you can see some of the outside of the petal, and then you can put the center, and if you want to, you can just draw some little lines, like little creases coming out from the center, or you could do that with your darker colored pencil. The other flower I did was more or less a sunflower, or a daisy maybe. Colored them like sunflowers. So you just come in here and do some petals. It's nothing's real important except make sure the petal is heading toward the center. So it's nice to have your circle first to go toward. And then I did some leaves coming out, and those were they were fairly small. If I had it to do over again, I would do a background and I would do bigger leaves. But these were pretty small leaves like that. Just what shape is that? Kind of a long oval. And then I did put some veins in the middle of the leaves. So that's all I did to sketch this, but I will put a, give me a day or so, and I will put a pattern on there for you to trace if you'd like it. Or even. I'm using colored pencils. I did, in fact, this was the pencil I used to sketch it out before I began. And I usually do sketch out with a pencil before I color in the marks. And this set of pencils, I'll give you a link to them down below. These are called Spearer Farben colored pencils. They are not wax based like your normal pencils. There are 72 in my set. I don't know if they come in a bigger set or not. I have several sets of pencils. When these first came out, they came in this 72, and I was so excited. I love the way they work. I love the oiliness of it, I guess. So there are 3, you can see some other pencils have sneaked in, but there are 3 trays of colors, plenty of colors to work with in the set. And I tend to spread them all out here so I can see them. And what I like to do when I'm creating a flower, a leaf, something, some object, I like to choose 3 colors and work with those 3. So what I've done here is I've used the pale orange, and let me get that one out for you. I've used the light, oh, we need to sharpen. I used the light color. It's this one. I've used this light one, and then this darker one, and then more of a true orange. And you can't go by the bottom on these and know which color is which. What I'm saying is, you know, like in your Prismacolors, you can look here and know that this would be a peach color, but like you just saw, I corrected myself. Oh, this is the lighter color, even though it has sort of a darker and maybe even a brown tone to the end. So you can't go by that, and they're just numbered. They're not, they don't have names, color names. So you're left guessing just a little bit, and I would advise using a little piece of card or something laying over beside you where you can scribble and make sure it's the color you want. But anyway, so I will probably stop the video at some point and sharpen pencils. What I like to do, here's one. I've just colored in the lightest shade. And again, let me make sure. Some of these are very similar. All right, I've used my lightest shade here, so I'm going to lay it aside. And I've colored in from the center outward, and I've left some white out around the edges to be sort of the highlight. And so now I'm going to take my second color, and I guess I've been doing the darkest down in the center, so I'll continue with that. If you can do little bitty circles with your colored pencils, that's going to give you the best color. I can't always do that. I've showed you my shaky hands before, and if I start doing circles, sometimes one will fly right off the page. So that's why I don't always do that, but I'll try. And then I take my darkest color. Ooh, that's really, really dark. I'm not sure that's the one I was using, but we're going to use it. Now, if you're like me and you tend to press too hard, try not to press quite so hard. And I've got some edges that I've drawn sort of curving over here, so I'm going to make the edges the darker color. And again, try not to press too much. These oil-based pencils just, I think, no matter how much you pull back, they do continue to deposit color. I just love using them. And they will mix with your wax base. If you want to use both kinds, you certainly can. I want to be sure that's similar to these. These have a little more color to them, so maybe I'll just add some. And I'm going to go back to that lightest shade and bring it out a little more. You can always go over your color with a colorless blender or with even just your white. It will change your colors, but it will blend them out. So there's my 1, 2, 3, my third one, and there's a smaller one, and I've tried to do sort of an opening flower here. So we'll do those in these same colors. I feel like I'm done with this page. I went ahead while the camera was off and outlined everything in black. Kind of wishing I hadn't done the sun rays, but they weren't showing up. But it's one of those things, as soon as I began, I wished I hadn't done it, but it was too late. I also never had decided whether I was going to do the edges in washi or mark my decorated pages with a paper clip. So since this went all the way up, I did the paper clip. I realized I'm sitting right by a scrap basket, so I just tied some scrap fabrics onto that. I probably should have turned that one around the other way. So there's my page for today. The pen I used, I'm in here where I'm trying to be quiet because it's like 5 or 6 a.m. And so I got 3 pens and I tested them in the back, and I'll just show you real quick. Here were my 3 marks, and I'm going to turn the page. You can see the one came right through. That was the Sharpie fine point. The other one, this was the Sanford Uniball. Now this one didn't go through at all. This was the lightest color on the front, and there's nothing on the back from it. However, it would not mark where the colored pencils were, even over beside it. It just wasn't working. So that one got fired, and I went to the Pilot G2, which is, I guess that's a gel pen. It did ghost just a tiny bit on the back of the page, but not too much. So let's go back over here now and have a look at the back of this page. You can tell there's writing on the back of the page. I don't know if you can see that. You can tell there's writing, but it's not much. And if I were to write something here, it certainly wouldn't interfere with it. So that's our page for today. I thank you for watching. The prayer, I guess the reason that prayer was on my mind during this project, or during my Bible study time, I mean, was because over on Bible Study Planet, I've been writing some things about being a prayer warrior. So if you want to look for that, it's how to be a prayer warrior and characteristics of a prayer warrior, and I think there's one more article about them. So if you're interested, please do have a look at that. I thank you.